me your ears.
This nation will rise up.
Welcome to the Elemental Health Podcast. I'm bringing you this solo cast episode, just me speaking at a really strange time, and I haven't released that many of these solo casts because I've been busy with trying to get really good guests on and sort of enhancing my own understanding as well about everything in this health space. But I think it's an interesting time just to add a comment, and I've really held off on speaking about the COVID crisis and the coronavirus outbreak pandemic that we're seeing across the globe, and also the lockdown that's been imposed pretty much everywhere. So no matter where you are, if that's still happening, then obviously stick with it and kind of let's work out what's going on together and kind of get through it. But it's a really interesting time. So the reason I've held off is because I haven't really been able to get my head around it. I just cannot fathom the numbers. I'm not a statistician, but I do know a little bit about research. I'm trying to get my head around the numbers a little bit, and also just got back from Tanzania, climbing Kilimanjaro for the third time and leading a team up there and just having an amazing adventure. So the contrast is massive, and I'll probably touch on that first. I think coming back from a mountain like that, it's a kind of very much a spiritual journey traveling up. So we take a long route to acclimatise, 7 days traveling up, and every day is very different in terms of what we see and the path going up. Vegetation is changing all the time, the temperature's changing, the altitude changing, the way our bodies react to that altitude are changing all the time, and it really is a kind of an interesting spiritual journey up that mountain, because you're taking away. You've got no technology with you. You're just waking up, walking, eating, walking, sleeping, waking up, eating, walking, sleeping, and that routine carries on for 7 full days. So it's completely alien to what most of us consider normal life. But I think that needs to be in itself examined, because what is normal life and the way we live now, have we got it right? And I think, couple that experience, and I'm very fortunate to be able to go on that. I do appreciate that. With coming back to this pandemic lockdown society that we're living in, and the contrast, and it really is an opportunity, I think, to reflect and try and understand, are we living a construct of a societal norm that we agree with, or is this actually how we want to live our lives? And it really is a time to reflect, because we're forced to do something that we're not normally doing. So we're forced to stay indoors, we're forced to not go to work, we're forced to not break up our routine, which is always an opportunity for change. But change is very, very hard. So I think it is a time to really, really reflect on that. And for me, I think, I'm really coming to a conclusion that all the technology, the distractions, the busyness that we all surround ourselves with, it isn't helpful, and it isn't adding to the journey of my life, really. So that's probably my first takeaway. And it always happens. I think the last couple of times that I've come back, I always go in a little blue patch, but this time the contrast is so massive that it's a time for true reflection, and I'm hoping that off the back of that I can kind of build some really strong, powerful decisions. And I wanted to share that with you as a thought process for maybe yourself to reflect on and kind of build something, that you truly desire, and try and understand exactly how you've constructed your life, and what areas you really want to focus on change, and the time to reflect allows the deep work required, and it really is deep work required to sit with those thoughts and work out what you want in your life. So that is kind of the first part of what I wanted to talk about on this show today. So that's kind of where I am in terms of my mental space. But then the crisis itself. So looking at the research, looking at the numbers, I'm bombarded with numbers, news from lots of different outlets, and trying to get my head around what's going on. I'm also very fortunate in the fact that I'm coaching guys that are on the front line at the moment. And I've also got lots of friends that are on the front line at the moment, so I'm able to chat to those people, have short interactions with them, and understand what's going on. That said, nothing is clear to me. Absolutely nothing is clear to me. I'm seeing lots of lots of reports from kind of bystanders, completely unquantified, with emergency departments completely empty, A&E units completely empty, testing units completely empty. We're seeing these numbers rise, and when I look at the kind of the daily deaths, whether it be here or in the States or anywhere, it's very hard to discern those numbers and what they actually mean, because we're not able to dial into that and look at the numbers underlying that. And the statement that I think is really interesting is, are the deaths people dying from corona or with the coronavirus? And that's not clear to me from the data. And also, it's not clear. I'm following a guy called Dr. Peter Attia. Peter Attia MD is his handle on Insta if you want to check him out. And he has had some excellent guests that really understand this, true experts in their field, global experts. He himself is diving into the detail as well. And one of the statements he released today was around what the question that's screaming in his mind is, why aren't we doing more testing of asymptomatic people in areas where there are big problems? And that's something I've been thinking about a lot. From a scientific perspective, I'm just not seeing the level of testing that's going to give us the true representation of actually what's going on. I'm just not seeing that here in the UK or in the States or anywhere really. So that's not the case. In Germany, it seems that they are taking that approach, very, very sensible, and they are doing some randomized testing of the population, and they're trying to get a really good understanding of how quickly it's spread and how much the population has got it, because without those numbers, we just don't understand anything. So it's not just me, my sort of very low-level kind of undergraduate statistical knowledge, not understanding, but these are guys that are really in the detail. And I think, at a global level, we just don't understand the numbers. And until we do, I can't see how we're going to get out of this situation. I really, really can't. So that's kind of my comment on it. And that's probably all I'm going to say on it, because I think it's very easy to get sucked in. And that's probably what I wanted to move on to, is getting sucked into the fear bubbles that are being created, partly driven by the media. I have to say that, because I do believe that to be true. And then our own brains kind of capturing that fear, reinterpreting it into our own lives, and creating something that keeps us hemmed in and stops us from actually progressing through and thinking about the really positive aspects of this and our lives in general. Largely speaking, most people won't be seriously affected by this in terms of their health. The economy is a completely different matter. Okay, so that's the first step. How can we use this to benefit us, and how can we really think about this differently? So that's kind of where I'm leading to, but it's really, really difficult. There's so much, we're constantly fed with information. So I think, starting today, I'm really going to start to put the filters down, something I've not been successful in doing. Really start to put the filters down in terms of social media and the news, and kind of, create my own lockdown where I'm filtering what comes into me. And I think that's really, really important now as we progress. I think we're in week 2 or 3. We're at the end of week 3, I think, now. So it's really important we try to maintain our sanity in this situation and understand these new challenges, and kind of really focus on what's important. And the final aspect of that really is, let's be very clear, and focus on what you can control. So there's a huge amount going on in the world at the moment that is completely outside mine, everyone's control on an individual level. Yes, you can support the greater good, however you deem that to be. Everyone's going to have a slightly different view of that, and you need to be respectful of that. But focusing on what I can control, what's in my life, the people I'm connected to, the people I love, the people I cherish, the people I can help. And that's what I need to focus on. And from my perspective, it's very real as well, because business has been affected, and I need to be nice and dynamic and develop and grow with the changes that are happening. I think that's the case for lots of people. Anyone with a small business, I'd encourage you to do that and just really sit down with a pen and paper and work out what you can control today and focus on that. Nothing else matters outside that bubble. We're being forced to create a bubble in our lives, so let's make the most of it. And use that mindset to move forward with a very open heart and a very optimistic view of what the future may hold, because there will be some good that's come out of this. There has been some good already in terms of environmental impact, but there will be some good, and will be some structural changes that will have a positive effect. It may take some time, but I truly believe that. And I'm seeing lots of positive messages out there as well. So let's kind of finish on a positive and take a massive step forward and just focus on what we can control, the love in our lives, and don't let that fear in. Guys, that's all for my COVID update. I'm not sure whether I'll bring you another one of these COVID updates. I'll try not to. Hopefully we'll be out of the woods very, very soon, and we'll be able to focus we'll truly able to focus on every aspect of our life and growing and developing and building that health, because that's what I'm about, and that's what this show is about. So thank you very much. That is the COVID update. I will speak to you soon. Take care. Guys, hopefully that episode was good for you. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you want to engage, I'd love your feedback. Easiest way to do that is on Instagram or Facebook at TheNoq, THENOQ. And I'm kicking off some really exciting coaching at the moment as well. So if you're interested in, and you think you meet the criteria to come on one of my programs that I've mentioned before, so guys in their 30s and 40s who are looking to get back in control of their health, then please reach out to me. You can find more at, on my website is probably the easiest. It's elementalhealth.co. You can find some more information there on the coaching, and jump in. I'd love to connect with you guys. Take care. See you on the next episode.